The right time to meet. When is the right time to meet a woman then? Well, the right time is when you built and established a relationship online first. That can take anywhere from 30 minutes to a month. It all depends on the woman, and every woman is different. But the right time is once you've established rapport, comfort, attraction, and sexual desire. Then and only then should you meet, unless there's very specific circumstances which I'm going to cover later. And for the most part, the longer you talk to a woman and get to know her online, the faster you will hook up and have sex with her in person. And that's been proven over and over again by people who have met and talked online for months, and they fly out the first day and they have sex immediately, or sometimes move in with each other, or sometimes get married. So it does work, but there are ways to accelerate this process so it doesn't take months and months, which it can happen in as little as 5 or 6 emails or 1 or 2 chat sessions if you know how to do it. Different types of women require different approaches. For about 80% of the women you're going to meet online, what I've told you just now will work wonderfully. And when you meet up, you will finally hook up. And if you build a relationship online, it will assure your chances of hooking up with her to almost be a virtual guarantee. There are some women, though, that this approach will not work. In fact, it can actually kill your chances. So now I'm going to go over the different types of women and the different types of approaches you need to use. Normal women. These are the women that you see their profile and they have text written on it, they have friends and family, they look like normal solid people. They have their interests shown, they have things you can talk about with them, things you can get to know them through. You can ask them questions about themselves and their friends, their family, their interests. People, these are women that you can actually get to know and someone you probably might actually want to date. And it's more than just a sexual thing, you can actually communicate with these women. These women, the approach I've just told you about, works great with. And that's the kind you should always use with these kind of women. You'll recognize them, like I said, by having normal pictures, normal text on their page, showing their interest, and actually having a brain enough to talk about themselves. Party girls. Party girls are basically the bimbos of the online dating scene. You'll recognize them on their page because they're basically half drunk and half naked in every picture. All their text is, if they have any text at all, is just about how hot they are, how they party like a rock star, how wild they are. It looks like a Girls Gone Wild commercial on their profile. And if you want to hook up with these kind of girls, you can try the approach I've told you about earlier. But sometimes it will work and sometimes it won't. If it doesn't work, you just got to move on to more light, playful banter with them and tease them and poke fun at them and have fun with them. And hopefully, if they like your look, you'll hook up. I hooked up with a party girl recently from out of state. We talked for about a month. We talked online. We text messaged. She'd send me pictures. And when we finally met up, we met up. She invited me up to her room. She was drunk. She was there with 2 other drunk girls. One was throwing up. They had 2 guys staying with them that were coming back in any moment. Basically, she got naked and wanted to have sex right then when her drunk friends are in the bathroom. And 2 guys are coming back. I personally declined. That's not my style. If I have sex, it's going to be a quality experience. She was hot, but let's put it this way. I don't live in sexual poverty. That's a thing of the past for me. I live in sexual abundance. So I want quality experiences in my life. I don't want a quick bang with a drunken party girl because she's not going to remember it anyway, and I am going to remember how bad it sucked. But if you want to go after party girls, that's how you do it. Very sexual women. Very sexual women can be recognized because throughout their profile, in their pictures, their text, and their email exchanges with you, there'll be strong sexual themes or overtones. With them, you'll still go through the stages of rapport, comfort, attraction, and desire, but you'll move to the sexual desire much faster. Because if you don't, they'll lose interest. I actually had a girl read my profile once, contact me, and wanted to meet up like that night. Because my profile is constructed in a way that creates, right off the bat, rapport, comfort, attraction, and sexual desire. She came over, but unfortunately she smelled like smoke and alcohol. She'd been out with her friends, and that's an instant turn-off to me. Number 2, she started getting undressed, and we were hanging out on my couch, watching a movie, and she was, taking her clothes off so she could get more comfortable. She had a big, ugly tattoo on her ass, and it totally turned me off. So I declined. I just didn't want to go there. And on the way out the door, I thought, well, maybe, if she cleaned up a little bit and didn't smell like smoke, she'd be fun to hang out with. Gave her a little kiss. I called her another time. Because I didn't hook up with her, she felt so rejected, she would never return my calls. It's funny how women are like that. It's like they can turn us down, and we're supposed to keep coming. But if you turn them down, they cannot handle it. They blow a fuse if you reject them. It's just one of those double standards. Very conservative women. Very conservative women can be identified because their profile is almost completely devoid of anything sexual. They don't look like partiers. They look like cool people, sometimes, but they don't talk about sex or really anything along those lines. Oftentimes they're very religious, or they have hang-ups about sex, or they're just not that sexual, at least online. Now, they can surprise you and be, wild in bed, but they're not going to show that side online. So the way you find out is by talking to them. If you bring up anything sexual and they're not wanting to talk about it, or it turns them off, you can blow your chances with them right then. Now, I see this as an opportunity for me to screen out women that I don't want, because I'm not into sexually conservative women. So I screen them out. But however, if you are, or you're sexually conservative yourself, with these kind of women, you want to build the rapport and the comfort and the attraction, but you don't want to talk about the sex so much online, unless you're out of state. If you're out of state, you want to talk about that before you ever meet. But if she's local, you probably want to meet her in person and get to know her and take it to a sexual level that way. I've done this before. I talked to a girl off and on for a couple of weeks, and I think it went on like 3 weeks. We talked, a few exchanges. We met up for coffee one night, regular conversation. She actually bought the coffee, and we came back to my place to watch a movie, have some cheesecake, and while the movie's on, we started making out. Next thing you know, we had sex. The problem with these very conservative girls or religious girls is they often have hang-ups and feel bad about it afterwards. And I don't like that. She wasn't crazy about it afterwards. She felt a little guilty, although I didn't feel bad about it and I didn't look down upon her for it. I would just rather not have to deal with that. So in conclusion, I want to say, just always take your time. Don't rush the women. Don't be too eager. Don't try to ask her out every time you talk to her. Build a friendship, build a relationship. Create the rapport, the comfort, the attraction, the sexual desire, and then you're virtually guaranteed to hook up when you meet her in person. So take the time, follow those steps, and I really hope you learned something and enjoyed this. And if you have any more questions for me, please visit me at pickupwomenonline.com. And until then, I'll talk to you later. Hassle of traditional dating. So if you have any questions for me, please visit me at pickupwomenonline.com and visit my blog also at pickupwomenonline/fuck. Oh shit, is this thing on? Fuck. So you really want to make sure that you've got the comfort, the attraction, the rapport.